Who are the world's biggest and strongest military generals? The ones whose strength wasn't in muscle, but in sheer command.
These are men who could turn chaos into strategy. In this video, we'll look at the generals who reshaped wars and rewrote history through power, precision, and presence. From battlefield tactics to large-scale logistics, you'll see how their leadership crushed rivals and built empires. Stay till the end and decide who truly stands as the strongest military general in the history of the world. 20. Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great was a general whose name is still repeated as a symbol of unstoppable power and audacity. The son of Philip II and educated by Aristotle, he became king at 20 and immediately set out to forge an empire that stretched from Greece to the Indies. He gained his strength through ruthless discipline and brilliant innovation, turning the Macedonian army into a weapon of unmatched speed and coordination. The Sarissa Phalanx. Deadly cavalry charges and merit-based command gave him the tools to crush Persian armies and outmaneuver every foe. Maintaining power required genius beyond the battlefield. He built garrison cities along critical lines, established supply hubs to fuel endless campaigns, rewarded loyalty, and absorbed local elites to keep conquered lands under control. His record is simple yet staggering. He never lost a single major battle, executed lightning-fast maneuvers across continents, and fused cavalry and infantry into an unstoppable strike force. Alexander's mix of relentless ambition, tactical brilliance, and operational genius secures his place as one of the strongest generals the world has ever seen. 19. Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan was a general whose name became interchangeable with unstoppable conquest and unmatched military genius. Born Temujin on the harsh Mongolian steppes, he rose from tribal conflict to unite fractious clans into a single and loyal fighting force. He gained power by transforming nomadic cavalry into a disciplined, highly mobile army capable of lightning strikes, feints, and coordinated multi-front campaigns that consistently outmaneuvered larger empires. Maintaining control required ruthless intelligence networks and an innovative relay system, allowing him to anticipate enemy movements and respond with precision. He promoted officers by merit rather than birth, instilled strict discipline, and ensured that his army operated with unity and speed. Among his greatest achievements were the conquest of the Khwarezmian Empire, the near-total destruction of powerful cities along the Silk Road, and the creation of the largest contiguous land empire in history stretching from the Pacific Ocean to Eastern Europe. He also established a sophisticated postal relay system and codified laws known as the Yasa, which maintained order across vast territories. Genghis Khan's tactical brilliance, psychological warfare, and ability to command massive coordinated armies secure his place as one of the strongest generals the world has ever seen. 18. Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon Bonaparte was a general whose ambition and brilliance reshaped Europe. Rising from a modest Corsican family, he quickly distinguished himself in the French Revolutionary Wars through audacious leadership and rapid battlefield innovation. He gained power by mastering the art of operational maneuver, inventing the core system that allowed independent yet coordinated army units to strike with speed and flexibility, and integrating artillery in ways that delivered crushing effects at decisive points. Maintaining dominance required relentless attention to logistics, conscription, and morale. Napoleon ensured that his armies could march farther and fight harder than any opponent, often striking where enemies least expected. His achievements include stunning victories at Austerlitz, Jena, and Wagram. Campaigns that displayed his genius for timing, terrain exploitation, and psychological impact. Not only his battlefield prowess, he institutionalized meritocracy, reorganized armies into highly effective structures, and left lasting reforms in European military doctrine. Known for rapid marches, daring maneuvers, and unparalleled operational tempo, Napoleon's skill in combining strategy, organization, and leadership makes him one of history's strongest generals, a figure whose influence on warfare persists to this day. 17th, Georgy Zhukov. General Zhukov possessed sheer power and battlefield mastery, which made him a symbol of Soviet strength. Rising from humble beginnings, he earned command through relentless skill, daring, and the ability to inspire troops under the harshest conditions. He gained power by proving himself in early campaigns and steadily mastering the coordination of massive armor, infantry, and artillery concentrations, and turning raw numbers into a decisive, crushing force. Maintaining dominance required iron discipline, meticulous planning, and personal oversight of operations, ensuring that even in the grimmest battles, Soviet forces remained cohesive and relentless. This strength was undeniable. General Zhukov orchestrated the defense of Moscow, blunted German offensives at Kursk, lifted the siege of Leningrad, and commanded the final assault on Berlin, transforming desperate defensive positions into unstoppable offensives. His operational brilliance, ability to control enormous formations, and relentless pursuit of victory made him feared by enemies and revered by his troops. His combination of tactical genius, strategic vision, and personal authority secures his place as one of the strongest generals the world has ever known. A true master of modern warfare whose legacy endures. 16. Von Guangjiop. Victory, patience, and tactical brilliance defined von Guangjiop, the general who turned Vietnam into a military force capable of defeating the world's strongest powers. Rising from revolutionary roots, he gained authority through unmatched skill in blending guerrilla warfare with conventional operations, demonstrating that intelligence, strategy, and discipline could overcome even technologically superior armies. Maintaining dominance required careful logistical planning, meticulous coordination, and the synchronization of political and military objectives, ensuring that every campaign reinforced morale, operational tempo, and battlefield cohesion. His strength was evident in landmark victories. The stunning triumph at Dien Bien Phu ended French colonial rule, and later campaigns against U.S. forces proved the effectiveness of protracted asymmetric warfare on a massive scale. Giap's operational genius lay in anticipating enemy movements, adapting tactics to terrain and executing complex multi-front maneuvers with precision, all while inspiring loyalty and fear in equal measure. Widely recognized as one of the strongest generals in modern history, his relentless drive, strategic foresight, and battlefield control solidified his legacy, making him a model of how intelligence, determination, and command can reshape wars and redefine military power. 15. Helmuth von Moltke the Elder. Decisive strikes and battlefield mastery made Helmuth von Moltke the Elder a general whose influence reshaped European warfare. He rose to power by re-engineering the Prussian army and creating the general staff system that allowed precise coordination across vast formations while integrating operational planning with strategic foresight. His strength stemmed from leveraging rail mobility, mission-type orders, and intelligence-driven maneuvers which enabled rapid campaigns and often caught his enemies off guard. Maintaining dominance required relentless focus on training, discipline, and staff professionalism so officers could execute complex operations independently yet stay aligned with overall objectives. Moltke's tactical brilliance is evident in the wars of German unification where he orchestrated decisive victories over Austria and France, outmaneuvering numerically superior foes with strategic and timely maneuvers. His methods institutionalized operational art and left a lasting legacy, influencing modern armies worldwide. Praised as one of the strongest generals in history, Moltke combined organizational genius, strategic vision, and battlefield innovation to show how planning, adaptability, and command authority can turn conventional forces into unstoppable military power. 14. Bernard Law Montgomery. Bernard Law Montgomery was the general who never lost a major battle in North Africa. Cementing his reputation as one of the strongest commanders of World War II, he rose to prominence by rebuilding the morale and training of the Eighth Army, turning it into a disciplined and formidable fighting force, capable of defeating Axis troops in the harshest campaigns. His power came from meticulous planning, precise logistics, and expert coordination of infantry, armor, and artillery. Turning every set-piece offensive into a calculated and overwhelming strike, maintaining dominance required patience, constant supervision, and the ability to inspire confidence in both troops and allies, ensuring cohesion under extreme pressure. Montgomery's achievements are undeniable. Victories at L'Alamein halted Rommel's advance and marked a turning point in North Africa. While later campaigns in Sicily and Normandy showcased his skill in orchestrating complex operations across multiple fronts, known for combining caution with decisive action, he avoided unnecessary risks while consistently achieving objectives. Montgomery's tactical brilliance, operational control, and steadfast leadership left a legacy that continues to influence military thought and exemplifies the power of disciplined command. 13. Dwight D. Eisenhower. Allied victory in Europe owed much to the general who commanded over 3 million troops on D-Day and coordinated the largest amphibious invasion in history, General Dwight D. Eisenhower. Rising through the ranks, he gained strength and influence by mastering coalition management, aligning multiple nations' armies under a single operational plan while balancing political pressures with battlefield necessity. His power came from orchestrating complex campaigns with meticulous attention to logistics, ensuring that men, weapons, and supplies reached the front lines on time across vast distances. Maintaining dominance required constant coordination, adaptability, and the ability to unify commanders with differing priorities into a cohesive fighting force capable of sustained operations. Eisenhower's achievements are legendary. From the North African campaigns to the liberation of Western Europe, his strategic foresight, operational control, and steady leadership proved decisive, making him one of the most well-known military generals known for prioritizing sustainment and long-term planning over short-term glory. He transformed coalition warfare into a coordinated, unstoppable force. As one of the strongest generals of the 20th century, Eisenhower's combination of strategic vision, organizational skill, and calm authority cemented his legacy as a master of modern military command. 12. Erwin Rommel. The Desert Fox earned his fame as a general whose strength and battlefield mastery struck fear across North Africa. Erwin Rommel rose to power through innovative mobile tactics that exploited terrain and maximized the impact of mechanized forces. His command relied on rapid decision-making, bold maneuvers, and adaptive leadership under fluid conditions, allowing him to seize the initiative even against larger Allied armies. In this theater, maintaining power demanded personal bravery, constant presence at the front, and careful coordination of infantry, armor, and artillery to achieve operational breakthroughs. Rommel's achievements are legendary. Campaigns in Tobruk, Gazala, and El Alamein documented his genius in flanking, deception, and high-tempo attacks, forcing enemies to rethink armored warfare doctrine. His tactical innovation elevated combined arms operations, and set standards still studied by modern generals. Widely respected even by adversaries, Rommel exemplified the power of a general who combined audacity, strategic foresight, and battlefield control. His operational brilliance, command authority, and ability to inspire troops solidified his place among the strongest generals in history, ensuring that his legacy continues to influence modern military thought and mechanized warfare. 11th General Douglas MacArthur. Douglas MacArthur dominated the Pacific Theater with unmatched strategic vision and tactical brilliance, turning vast, complex operations into decisive victories. He rose to power through relentless planning and innovative coordination, seamlessly integrating land, sea, and air forces across thousands of miles. His strength lay in producing amphibious assaults from New Guinea to the Philippines, where careful timing, bold maneuvering, and adaptive tactics allowed him to outflank and overwhelm entrenched enemy positions. Ensuring control over the Pacific Theater required constant oversight, precise logistics, and the ability to inspire confidence in troops and Allied commanders alike. Every element had to work in harmony to achieve that single goal. General MacArthur's achievements reshaped modern warfare. The liberation of the Philippines, the reconstruction of post-war Japan, and his early campaigns in Korea showcased a general who combined operational genius with strategic foresight. Known for blending audacity with meticulous preparation, he exemplified the power of decisive command, demonstrating how a single visionary leader could influence the outcome of entire theaters. His legacy endures as a standard of modern military strength, operational mastery, and the art of commanding forces across vast, challenging environments. 10. General Hans Pons. Few generals in history have wielded power as quietly but effectively as Hans Pons, whose reforms after World War I reshaped the German army and influenced modern military thinking. Rising through the ranks, he transformed the Reichswehr into a disciplined, highly mobile and professional force. Despite strict post-war limitations, his genius lay in combining strategic foresight with organizational innovation, emphasizing flexibility, initiative, and operational efficiency that allowed Germany to preserve military strength while circumventing Versailles restrictions. Pons understood that true power required not just numbers, but excellence in training, doctrine, and leadership. He secretly coordinated with the Soviet Union to train troops and test emerging weapons, creating a force capable of rapid mobilization and precise execution. His influence extended beyond tactics. He defined modern staff professionalism and operational planning, leaving a legacy felt in Germany and across the world. Even under political constraints, he maintained the army's prestige, showing how a general could exert extraordinary strategic power without open battlefield glory. Fonz remains a standard of strategic mastery, disciplined command, and the enduring impact a single general can have on an entire nation's military capability. Let's take a look at today's subscriber pick. They say giants don't exist until you see them. Well, standing in uniform, this figure looks more like a fortress than a man. Every muscle shaped by years of hard training. His calm stare shows control, not aggression. And the way he carries himself speaks of discipline earned, not given. Some people believe no one could be that strong naturally, while others say he's proof of what pure dedication can do. What do you think? Legend or the real deal? Let us know in the comments. 9. Ulysses S. Grant. Unlike most generals of his time, General Ulysses Grant relied on endurance and precision rather than theatrics or ego. He believed victory came from persistence, from pushing forward when others broke under pressure. His campaigns at Vicksburg, Chattanooga, and ultimately Appomattox revealed a mind built for coordination, timing, and unshakable determination. He mastered logistics like no other, using railroads and river routes to move troops faster and strike harder than his enemies expected. Grant's strategy of simultaneous offensives across multiple fronts crushed the Confederacy's ability to regroup. His leadership was steady, his focus absolute, and his confidence in his men unshaken. He valued results over reputation, efficiency over flair, and unity over rivalry. Where other generals hesitated, Grant attacked. Where others withdrew, he advanced with purpose. His calm under fire became a symbol of control. His relentlessness a force of nature. By the war's end, his name stood for strength, discipline, and victory born from endurance. Grant proved that power is not in brilliance alone, but in the unwavering will to finish what others fear to begin. 8. Erich Ludendorff. General Erich Ludendorff stood at the heart of Germany's war machine. A man whose strength came from intellect and total command of detail. Unlike field generals who led from the front, Ludendorff wielded power through coordination, shaping entire campaigns from his command table. His mastery of logistics and timing turned chaos into precision, making him the architect behind Germany's great offensives, including the daring spring offensives of 1918. He envisioned war not as a battle between armies but as a struggle of nations. Every worker, factory, and resource mobilized for victory. Under his leadership, the concept of total war took shape, blending industry, manpower, and military strategy into one relentless system. Ludendorff's belief in offensive strength and centralized control reshaped German operational art, influencing future doctrines across the world. Though his gamble for victory in 1918 ultimately collapsed, his impact remained immense. Few generals combined such strategic foresight with unyielding will. Ludendorff proved that strength in command is not only measured on the battlefield, but in the mind that directs the war itself. 7. George S. Patton. General George S. Patton embodied raw aggression and battlefield dominance. A commander whose strength was defined by relentless momentum. Known as the Blitz General, he turned armored warfare into an art of speed, shock, and precision. His forces moved like lightning across Europe, breaking enemy lines before they could regroup, proving that audacity could overwhelm even the strongest defenses. Patton's leadership was both feared and admired. He demanded perfection, punished hesitation, and inspired courage through sheer force of will. His belief in mobility and decisive action gave the Allies a weapon of constant motion, one that struck faster and harder than the enemy could ever expect. Behind his fiery personality lay a disciplined mind that mastered logistics, coordination, and battlefield timing. From North Africa to the heart of Germany, Patton showed that victory favored those who never paused. His tactics redefined armored warfare and set the standard for operational command. Strength, speed, and unbreakable confidence. These were the hallmarks of a general built for total war. 6. Mustafa Kemal Ataturk. General Mustafa Kemal Ataturk stood as the unyielding force who turned defeat into resurrection. In the ashes of a collapsing empire, he forged a nation through pure resolve and tactical brilliance. His strength was not only measured on the battlefield, but in the discipline and vision that transformed chaos into unity. At Gallipoli, he showed that courage and calculation could halt even the most powerful armies. During the War of Independence, he proved that a strategy rooted in purpose could outmatch numbers and technology alike. Ataturk's leadership blended intellect with iron will. He reorganized exhausted troops, inspired loyalty through clarity and conviction, and led maneuvers that reclaimed both land and pride. Yet his greatest victory came after the fighting, when he rebuilt the Turkish state from ruins, modernizing its army, education, and governance. His power lay in transformation, his command in belief. Ataturk's legacy endures as the symbol of a general who fought not just for victory, but for the rebirth of his people, a strength few in history have ever matched. 5. Valery Gerasimov. General Valery Gerasimov stands as one of the most strategic military thinkers of the modern era. He was a commander who reshaped how wars are fought without always having to fire a shot. His strength lies not in brute force alone, but in intellect, the ability to merge cyber, information, and kinetic warfare into a single shifting front. Under his leadership, the Russian military has embraced a new kind of power. One where deception, digital manipulation, and rapid ground strikes are used to destabilize opponents before they even understand the battle has begun. Gerasimov's doctrine, often labeled hybrid warfare, changed the global military landscape. He refined operations that blurred the line between peace and conflict, blending intelligence, technology, and traditional might into one continuous campaign. His focus on speed, coordination, and adaptability built a framework where influence became as deadly as artillery. Through calculated precision and systemic modernization, Gerasimov forged an army designed for the 21st century. Agile, unpredictable, and deeply strategic, he represents the evolution of the general, not defined by rank alone, but by the reach of his ideas and the quiet force of his command. 4. Rahil Sharif. General Rahil Sharif emerged as one of the strongest military figures in the modern era, commanding both respect and fear through discipline and decisive leadership. As Chief of Army Staff, he led Operation Zarb-ASP, a vast campaign that crushed militant strongholds across North Waziran and restored state authority in regions once thought uncontrollable. His command style reflected balance, a soldier's instinct sharpened by strategic patience and national purpose. Sharif's strength was not just in the field but in rebuilding the army's morale and professional image after years of internal turmoil. Under his leadership, the Pakistan Army became more coordinated, technologically aware and unified across branches. His influence even extended beyond Pakistan when he was chosen to lead the Islamic Military Counterterrorism Coalition, commanding a 40-plus nation alliance, a rare international trust for any general. While his era focused on counterinsurgency rather than global war, Rahil Sharif's steady resolve, respect among troops, and ability to lead under pressure secured his legacy as one of South Asia's strongest and most disciplined generals of the 21st century. 3. Qasem Soleimani. Qasem Soleimani was a shadow commander who reshaped the Middle East without ever commanding a traditional army. As the head of Iran's Quds force, he built a vast network of militias, advisors, and political allies stretching from Lebanon to Yemen. His genius lay in indirect warfare, training fighters, supplying weapons, and guiding proxy forces that advanced Iran's influence while keeping its regular army untouched. Soleimani's methods blended covert operations with diplomacy, allowing Front to project power far beyond its borders. He managed to turn local insurgents into regional actors and transformed the Quds force into one of the world's most effective unconventional military units. By combining intelligence, logistics, and ideology, he shifted the balance of power across the Middle East without a single large-scale invasion. Even his death in 2020 only deepened his legend, marking him as both a martyr and a master strategist in Iran's modern history. Soleimani's hybrid approach to war still has a huge influence over proxy conflicts today, making him one of the most formidable and unconventional generals of the 21st century. 2. Zhang Yuqi. General Zhang Yuqi stands at the heart of China's ongoing military transformation. As one of the highest-ranking officers in the People's Liberation Army, he has been pivotal in steering the force from its old manpower-heavy model to a modern technology-driven military. His leadership emphasizes precision, readiness, and integration across land, air, sea, and space domains, the core of China's new joint operational doctrine. Jiang has overseen sweeping reforms, restructuring entire commands to enhance flexibility and coordination. Under his guidance, the PLA has invested heavily in artificial intelligence, cyber capabilities, and advanced weapon systems, marking China's shift toward global power projection. A close ally of President Xi Jinping and a veteran of the 1979 Sino-Vietnamese conflict, Jiang combines battlefield credibility with strategic foresight. His influence extends beyond command. It shapes China's defense industry, doctrine, and military diplomacy. As China moves toward great power competition, Jiang Yuqi remains a cornerstone of its modern military rise. Disciplined, reformist, and quietly formidable. 1. Andrei Morvachev. General Andrei Morvachev represents the new face of Russian military evolution. He is adaptive, analytical, and forged in modern hybrid warfare. Rising swiftly through the ranks after 2020, he became known for integrating drone warfare, electronic disruption, and precision coordination into Russia's operational doctrine. His strategies mark a shift from old-style brute offensives to high-tech synchronized battlefield control. Commanding during the conflicts in Ukraine, Morvachev has mastered real-time coordination between ground, cyber, and air units, proving that technology and timing can outweigh numbers. His leadership blends Soviet-era resilience with next-generation innovation, positioning him as one of Russia's most forward-thinking commanders. Within Moscow's military structure, he stands as a symbol of transformation, a general who understands that wars of the future are fought as much with code and data as with guns and tanks. Morvachev's rise shows how strategy in modern warfare is evolving at a fast pace, is reliant on digital methods, and can be completely unpredictable.